Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. Warsaw City Councillor and First Deputy Minister of Justice, Sebastian Kaleta, has revealed that a waste incineration plant was damaged at Warsaw's Czajka sewage treatment plant in December 2018. According to Kaleta, the Warsaw authorities and the Mayor of Warsaw, Rafał Trzaskowski, hid this fact from the local residents. What is more, large amounts of waste from the damaged treatment plant are still floating down the River Vistula to other parts of the country.
Potwierdzone zostały te bardzo niepokojące doniesienia, iż
These very worrying reports turned out to be true. The waste incineration plant in the Czajka sewage treatment plant, worth hundreds of millions of zloty, has been broken since December 2018. The mayor of Warsaw, Rafał Trzaskowski, knew about it for a long time, but he didn't inform the councillors and the Warsaw residents. 100,000 tons of sewage are floating to other parts of the country. This is very worrying information. It has aroused a lot of indignation, because it is not the first time that Trzaskowski has hidden something from Warsawians. Civic platform politicians led to an ecological catastrophe by mismanaging the Czajka sewage treatment plant. Trzaskowski should dismiss the entire board of directors for their incompetent work.
Wywołuje ona gigantyczne oburzenie z tego powodu, że kolejny raz Rafał Trzaskowski ukrywa istotne informacje przed warszawiakami.
Today marches, principally by young people, in favour of climate protection took place in more than 60 cities and towns across Poland. Similar demonstrations took place around the world today. Ursula Regala joined the march in Warsaw.
The date of the protest is not accidental, because September 20th is the last Friday before the United Nations Climate Summit to be held in New York. Negotiations regarding climate political activities will take place during the summit, which is why many young people started the protest in order to draw attention to this issue.
It's mainly about our future, which we can simply lose. And we want to have a future. We want to live life to the full. We want to live on a healthy planet without pollution. And we want this planet to survive so that other generations could live here like we do. I came here to save our planet and to prevent global warming.
We have to reduce carbon emissions and the use of plastic.
We care about our future. That's why we want to fight for it.
In Poland, the protest is organized by the Youth Climate Strike. The movement demands a declaration of climate crisis, calling for an independent climate council and a transformation of the economy. To be sure that the movement's demands are heard, the organizers of the protest wrote an official letter to all the Polish political parties. We, the young generations of Poles, address you because we are terrified of your indifference towards the climate crisis. While you are focusing on counting the possible seats in the parliament, we are running out of time. You often say that you care about our future, yet you continue to work like all you care about is your next term in office. Hence, we appeal to you to provide future generations with a real chance of survival. We know that you also feel that you cannot ignore us any longer. It does not matter which side you are on. The lives of future generations have no political allegiance. People gathered in protest also in Asia, Africa and all over Europe. The biggest demonstration took place in New York.
The holding in Russia by the Russian authorities of the wreckage of the Polish presidential plane, which crashed near Smolensk in April 2010, killing all on board, including the then-President Lech Kaczynski, has neither legal basis nor rational justification, according to Poland's Foreign Minister Jacek Czaputowicz, who was presenting Poland's position from the report on the implementation of the resolution of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe of exactly a year ago. That resolution required Russia to return the wreckage to Poland. Antoni Macierewicz, the head of the Polish Parliamentary Subcommittee on the re-examination of the Smolensk catastrophe, comments on this matter for us.
Thanks to our foreign minister, Mr. Czaputowicz, for his initiative to tackle this problem. We hope that the diplomatic efforts of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will now be more active, vigorous and unequivocal, because we now have backing of the whole Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. We have the backing of all countries of the European Union, including the German Declaration of April of this year, in which they support the position of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe. We have to take advantage of this favorable situation in order to press Russia to return the wreckage. For sure, it is not going to happen by itself. It will require coordinated efforts by the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, state prosecutors and also our subcommittee. The role of public opinion is going to be significant too, because the Russian government is afraid of returning the wreckage and they are afraid of the possibility of new findings, new evidence to build a true version of this tragic event.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is facing severe criticism after pictures of him wearing a blacked-up face on 3 different occasions appeared in the press. The scandal seems likely to diminish his chances of winning a second term in the federal election, which will take place on the 21st of October.
The Liberal Party leader's campaign has been upended since the Time magazine on Wednesday published an image of him with his face blackened at a 2001 Arabian Nights party when he was a 29-year-old teacher at a private school in Vancouver. The Prime Minister is now doing his best to apologize for his actions.
I want to begin by saying a few words directly to racialized Canadians who face discrimination every single day in their lives, even in a country like Canada. What I did hurt them, hurt people who shouldn't have to face intolerance and discrimination because of their identity. This is something that I deeply, deeply regret. Darkening your face, regardless of the context or the circumstances, is always unacceptable because of the racist history of blackface.
During his government, Trudeau has championed racial equality and diversity as Prime Minister over the past 4 years, a legacy which is now being called into question. The Prime Minister's situation is worsened by the fact that he doesn't remember how many times he has dressed up with the use of a blackface.
I think it is obvious that this is something that was deeply regrettable. I am wary of being definitive about this because the recent pictures that came out I had not remembered. And I think the question is, how can you not remember that? The fact is, I didn't understand how hurtful this is to people who live with discrimination every single day. I have always acknowledged that I come from a place of privilege, but I now need to acknowledge that that comes with a massive blind spot.
Trudeau entered the campaign as the favorite, but the latest polls have his party neck and neck with the Conservative Party, as the electorate is becoming more and more concerned about the country's economy.
That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.